Welcome back to Tea Time with Miss C. We are here with Susan Cole to hear about her upcoming mission and ministry across the Atlantic. So, Miss Cole, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Sure thing. Like you said, my name is Susan Cole and I am a former teacher, but most importantly, I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ and His plan for my life, which is what brought us here today. That it does. So, you said former teacher, right? What are you doing now? Great question. I felt a call a long time ago to be a teacher and worked hard towards those goals, but always felt a pull towards working overseas, especially on a ministry basis. And I wasn't sure exactly what God had in store, but now I know where I'm at least starting that journey. Oh, really? And what would that be? The UK. Now, I know what you're thinking. Shouldn't a missionary be headed to Africa or Asia? Well, I lived in downtown Richmond for 5 years, and I had the honor of doing ministry and living in communities riddled with diversity and people with stories of every shape and size. What all of that taught me was that no two people have the same relationship with Christ. And if I'm going to minister to those who don't know Him, it would be good to have an experience in talking to people from as many walks of life as possible. So that brings us to Birmingham, England, which is the second largest city actually in the UK, right behind London, and has the largest population of immigrants and refugees from all over the world. And I will get the amazing opportunity to repeat my time in Richmond, just with a much more diverse group. Well, that sounds very exciting. Are you working with a certain group or just going on your own? Well, I'm thankful that I'm not going on my own. I'm partnering with Christian Missionary Fellowship, based out of Indianapolis, who created 2 equipped programs, actually, one in New York City and one in Birmingham. And the team in Birmingham has been there for quite some time and have built a program that is to mentor and to teach and send out missionaries to fields and people groups God has placed on their hearts. They sound like quite the team. So what kind of mission work will you be doing? So we will be doing a lot of training on the front end, and it's that training is about doing ministry in diverse and urban settings, and then implementing a program or plan of ministry as a team. And this plan will focus on a specific people group or area of town or religious background. And I won't really know the details of that plan because we will be praying and discussing it as a team so that other people that are going through the program with me. Great. So you said front end of your time. What does that time frame look like? When do you leave? Well, our departure dates have shifted some due to the global shutdowns over the last few months. And however, the tentative start date now is the second week of January 2021, and we will be there for around 10 months. So it's kind of similar to a residency program right outside of Birmingham. We also get the chance to go on a vision trip during that time to another country, which we think that God is leading us towards. And that part I'm very excited about, but the current travel bans and safety measures makes everything a little more complicated for the current team in England. Therefore, they decided to have us start fresh in January. Makes sense. So if this is a 10-month program, what are your plans for after? I really see these 10 months as just the beginning, actually, to a life of mission work, be that in Europe, Asia, Africa, or even back here in the States. So I don't really know what those long-term plans are, but I know that I'm going to need partners in order to make that happen. Partners? Like other teammates? Kind kind of like teammates because work and ministry is not something we can ever do on our own. In scripture, Jesus actually talks about the church being made up of many parts with different skill sets, and not all of those parts or people get the opportunity or hear the call to go into the world to make disciples, but they do know how to support the ones who can, to make it easier for them and better for everyone in the body. So those who work in ministry, work in missions, need partners in prayer, in community, and sometimes financially as well. It always comes down to money, but not in the way you might think it does. I mean, we invest in things every single day, usually without realizing it. We invest in a certain shoe brand when we decide on a new pair of sneakers, a coffee company when we buy a Frappuccino instead of making coffee at home, or a tech company when we choose one phone over another. So if we can make those sorts of investments, why can't we invest in growing God's kingdom? So when I ask people to partner with me, it's about, having a relationship and including them in my work and the ministry that I'm doing, and also what's already being done in Birmingham and beyond. Well said. But how would someone do that? Oh, we don't need to worry about all of those details during our time, but at the end, I am more concerned, at the end of the day, I'm more concerned about gaining partners who believe in me and the work that I'm doing for, the long haul. And I totally understand if that isn't a reality for everyone, especially with all the changes over the last few months. So if that's the case, I'm, looking for people who can partner with me in prayer and in support of the mission as a whole. That sounds like something I would like to be a part of. How can I find out more? Well, I do have a web page which has more information about me, about CMF, and how to support and partner with me. I also have been sending out monthly newsletters and writing a blog about my mission experience as well. And the URLs for both of those, as well as my email address, will be on the screen at the end of the interview. However, I would love to tell you more now if you have time. Oh, I have that in spades. But I want to know more about Birmingham. What kind of city is it? Oh gosh, it is beautiful, or at least from the pictures I've seen and things I've heard. It actually is an ancient city with a ton of history that's still in the process, that I'm still in the process of learning and researching. But the modern version of the city actually started way back in the 16th century after the collapse of the actual Birmingham family. That's where the name of the city came from. And this time of transition allowed for more and more businesses to grow and emerge up from the lower class, making it more attractive to outsiders. So the population multiplied, which brought in a vast array of cultures and people groups from, which actually formed the heart of this bustling city. So it's known for several things, including Cadbury World, and Birmingham is where actually the first major cricket club was ever formed, so I've been learning about cricket, and it has dozens of parks and lakes, and lots of outdoor excursions around the city. Well, you had me at Cadbury World. That's about all the time that we have for today, so any last things you'd like to share? Yes, actually. So Christian Missionary Fellowship's mission statement says that CMF International creates dynamic, Christ-centered communities that transform the world. And I hope that you will consider being a part of my community of faith and hope and love through partnering with me to be Jesus to those who don't know him. Wonderful. Well, this has been Tea Time with Miss C signing off. Shalom.